Hello everyone, it's Sugarbread Cat. Welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be redesigning Ojiro, one of the plainest characters in My Hero Academia with one of the plainest quirks, but surprisingly useful. Honestly, a lot of the flashy quirks in My Hero Academia have really only fighting capabilities, but Ojiro's is pretty useful outside that, honestly. And I wanted to give him a cooler costume because his is just achy, plus a semi-modified belt with a little bit of fur on the collar and not even the full way around. Like, why is there only a little bit of fur on that collar? Why isn't going it the whole way around? What is up with that? I don't understand. God, I hate it here. And I'm not trying to insult his character, honestly, because his character is like a genuinely nice guy. He's just kind of plain and boring, but like, there's nothing wrong with that. He just is the typical everyday dude, and I get that you're supposed to see yourself as the really cool characters, but he's honestly more relatable than an Izuku type, a Bakugo type, or a Shoto type could ever be, in my opinion. So it's time to figure out this plain, boring mess of a costume, because Ojiro deserves far better than what he's given. So I wanted to talk first about what design elements I wanted to keep before what I wanted to add. So the shoes, I do like the shoes. They're very simplistic, and the design does hold up pretty well, but I feel like something can be added. I do want to keep the fur, but I want to expand on that further by adding fur on the edges of the gi top and edges of the pants, as well as the gloves I will be giving him. I do want to keep the belt, because I do like the design of the belt, but it does need some more color, because it is plain and boring, and Ojiro's costume overall is very unmemorable.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have an Etsy store. If you'd like to support the channel, you can get yourself some jewelry there. Here's the new Halloween earrings that were just dropped. The store is called Sugarbread Studio, and it would be amazing if you could at least take a look.
And a lot of heroes in My Hero Academia turn their image almost into a business. They have merch, they have fan clubs, they do brand promotions. This is a line of work in not only saving people, but also public relations. And as a hero, we need to not only be memorable by saving people, but also by looking cool, I guess. Like, that's the best way to put it. You have to have a look that distinguishes you from all the other heroes if you want to be successful. And with Ojiro, unfortunately, he has a bit of a disadvantage with his quirk, because the quirk tail, while it does look pretty cool in my opinion, and it does have its uses, in the world of My Hero Academia with all the flashy quirks is not memorable at all. So he needs to make up for that with his costume, or his deeds. Really both. Now, back on topic to the costume from the whole ramble about marketing and just marketing oneself when it comes to heroes in My Hero Academia, I do like the belt. I do like the design. The little squares are unique, as well as the rectangles. I haven't really seen that on any other character in My Hero, villain or hero, so it is something that can help to making this costume more memorable. So it will be kept, but there needs to be more color on it, just so, again, memorable. Because colors stick more in the brain than just black, white, or tan. And unfortunately, Ojiro has white, tan, and black all on his costume, and that is not going to help him be memorable. I also want to apologize for how the hair looks. I'm not the best at drawing this type of hairstyle. It doesn't really translate to my style of drawing very well, but it's something I will improve on at some point. But, yeah, sorry about butchering the hair, guys. I didn't intend to change it, it just looks that way because my style can be a bit unforgiving when it comes to slicked back hair. So now the radio. I gave him a radio on his arm because while Ojiro is pretty cool and he would make a good hero, it's just his tail is his quirk, and it's not the most versatile thing in combat. So he's going to have to rely on having to get in contact with other heroes for support, but also it's just good if all of the heroes have a walkie on them, because like, there's a lot of situations where they're working together. What if they get separated? What if one of them is like taken hostage? What if one of them gets hurt and is like trapped somewhere, like, this is a huge oversight, honestly. They all need walkies. So I gave him a walkie on the arm. I should have given him, like, some type of pouch somewhere. But yeah, it was just like a spur of the moment decision that now that I'm thinking about it, all the heroes should have walkies. Horikoshi, why did you not do that? I don't know. But now we're finally moving on to the colors. So first off, with the colors on the walkie, I decided to use most of the colors on his costume that weren't white and tan, just so I would have a bit of a color palette to select from for everything else. So for the shoes, I gave a orange sole. They aren't really as grippy as the other shoes I draw, but I just wanted to have something that, one, looked nice, and also, two, imitated a bit of a slipper more, because Ojiro fights with martial arts. So I would imagine that he needs some form of like flexible shoe for his feet, because he does, I think, karate, but I'm not really sure, because I've seen that gi be worn for multiple different styles, but every single style I've seen it for, the person is barefoot. So I would imagine that he needs something flexible for his feet. I did keep the original tan and white colors of the costume, but I did change the blue to be lighter, just so it's more visible, and also just so it looks a little bit more inviting. I want Ojiro to look more approachable, more like a hero, and less like a civilian in like a slightly fancy gi. Because before, that's what he looked like. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But now, there's actually something here. And the thing is, Ojiro, he's not really one for the spotlight, so I tried to keep that in mind. I wanted it to be comfortable that he could move around in and actually fight in, for one. For another, I wanted it to stick with his pre-written personality, for another. And for the third thing, I also just wanted it to, like, have more of his personal flair on it, if you will. So with the gloves, I know his power doesn't rely on the usage of touching things, so that's why that's a little bit easier to justify. I did do fingerless gloves because I did want to keep the pads of his fingers free for grip, so if he needs to climb up something, that's an option. I did add the fur there to tie it in with the rest of the outfit, and I also used the lighter blue there to tie it in with the belt and the walkie. Now, with the orange color, I wanted something a bit brighter on his costume, because Ojiro, while he is a bit more of a realist character, he is also a hopeful character. I wanted a more brighter color for a brighter personality, because again, while he is a bit more subdued than Izuku, he is also hopeful as a character. So I wanted to portray that in his design a little bit, and I did also start adding his name in the background and his hero name, really. I'm starting to realize a lot of these hero names are like very on the nose when it comes to characters that aren't really used very much, but you know what, it's fine. Ojiro's personality also matches up with the name, so it's like, you know what, all good, no qualms here. I'm not going to change any of their names, no matter how much I hate it, honestly, because that would be messing with something I don't want to mess with. And this is the finished design. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and help support the channel. And if you have a character that you want to see redesigned, let me know. Drop it in the comments.
Here's an art piece that I made recently. It would really mean a lot if you went over to my Instagram to leave a like on it and just leave a comment. I work really hard on both my videos and my art, so it just really means a lot. And it also just helps me reach more people and get my art seen. So I would really appreciate if you did that.